Thank you for joining me. We are in A Course in Miracles workbook for students, and we are on Lesson 100 and Part 2 of the workbook. Lesson 100. My part is essential to God's plan for salvation. Just as God's Son completes His Father, so your part in it completes your Father's plan. Salvation must reverse the mad belief in separate thoughts and separate bodies, which lead separate lives and go their separate ways. One function shared by separate minds unites them in one purpose, for each one of them is equally essential to them all. God's will for you is perfect happiness. Why should you choose to go against His will? The part that He has saved for you to take in working out His plan is given you that you might be restored to what He wills. This part is as essential to His plan as to your happiness. Your joy must be complete. And I'm going to read 158 down here. That's John 15:11 in the Bible. I have said these things to you so that my joy may be in you and that your joy may be complete. Your joy must be complete to make His plan be understood by those to whom He sends you. They will see their function in your shining face and hear God calling to them in your happy laugh. You are indeed essential to God's plan. Without your joy, His joy is incomplete. Without your smile, the world cannot be saved. While you are sad, the light which God Himself appointed as the means to save the world is dim and lusterless, and no one laughs because all laughter can but echo yours. You are indeed essential to God's plan. Just as your light increases every light that shines in heaven, so your joy on earth calls to all minds to let their sorrows go and take their place beside you in God's plan. God's messengers are joyous, and their joy heals sorrow and despair. They are the proof that God wills perfect happiness for all who will accept their Father's gift as theirs. We will not let ourselves be sad today, for if we do, we fail to take the part that is essential to God's plan as well as to our vision. Sadness is a sign that you would play another part instead of what has been assigned to you by God. Thus do you fail to show the world how great the happiness He wills for you, and so you do not recognize that it is yours. Today we will attempt to understand joy is our function here. If you are sad, your part is unfulfilled, and all the world is thus deprived of joy along with you. God asks that you be happy so the world can see how much He loves His Son, and wills no sorrow rise up to abate His joy. No fear beset Him to disturb His peace. You are His messenger today. You bring His happiness to all you look upon, His peace to everyone who looks on you, and sees His message in your happy face. We will prepare ourselves for this today in our 5-minute practice periods by feeling happiness arise in us according to our Father's will and ours. Begin the exercises with the thought today's idea contains. Then realize your part is to be happy. Only this is asked of you or anyone who wants to take his place among God's messengers. Think what this means. You have indeed been wrong in your belief that sacrifice is asked. You but receive according to God's plan and never lose or sacrifice or die. Now let us try to find that joy which proves to us and all the world God's will for us. The practice today and for several days to come is an hourly meditation in which we quiet our thoughts and sink deep within our minds to find the joy that is inherent in our nature. It is your function that you find it here and that you find it now. For this you came. Let this be one day that you succeed. Let this one be the day that you succeed. Look deep within you, undismayed by all the little thoughts and foolish goals you pass as you ascend to meet the Christ in you. And this reminds me of Gary Renard's 5-minute meditation. I'll still do a meditation for this lesson, but if you're interested, Gary Renard has a 5-minute meditation. It actually takes about 10 minutes. But if you want to try that, search that on YouTube. I've always loved it. You go into your treasure house and connect with the light. It's a beautiful 5-minute meditation. Okay, so let me see. Let this be the one that look deep within you, undismayed by the little thoughts and foolish goals you pass as you ascend to meet the Christ in you. He will be there, and you can reach him now. What could you rather look upon in place of him who waits that you may look on him? What little thought has power to hold you back? What foolish goal can keep you from success when he who calls to you is God himself? He will be there. You are essential to his plan. You are his messenger today, and you must find what he would have you give. Do not forget the idea for today between your longer practice periods. It is yourself who calls to you today. It is him you answer every time you tell yourself you are essential to God's plan for the salvation of the world. All right, and we're going to move on to Robert Perry and Ellen Watson. Lesson 100, my part is essential to God's plan for salvation. The purpose of this lesson is to experience the happiness that is God's will for you, to understand that infecting others with your happiness is how you fulfill your part in the global plan for salvation. The practice period is every hour on the hour for 5 minutes. And if you can't do 5 minutes, at least do a minute. Sometimes I find myself, I just have to do it for a minute or two, and I just listen to my little recording. But I do it as long as I can. 5 minutes is impossible for me to do every hour, but I do what I can. Repeat the idea, then realize your part is to be happy, not to make noble sacrifices, just to be happy. The rest is a meditation exercise in which you try to find the joy that God placed in you. Look deep within you, sink down and inward to find the Christ in you, the source of joy. As you sink, you will pass by all your little thoughts and foolish goals. Don't let them hold you back. You might even ask yourself, what little thought has the power to hold me back? Or you might simply remember that your one intent is to reach that inexhaustible well of joy at the center of your being. Your one intent is to reach the Christ in you. Seek him with confidence. He will be there, and you can reach him now. Throughout the exercise, keep looking deep within for that bottomless well of joy. Frequent reminders. In between hourly practice periods, repeat the idea, remembering that by doing so, you are answering your self's call to you. As usual, I recommend repeating it in this fashion now so you can see the benefits it brings. My part is essential to God's plan for salvation. God does not have a plan for my life. He has his plan, and I am a part of it. There are not billions of separate plans for billions of separate individuals. There is the one will of God, and each of us has an essential part in it. Part of what is being undone by salvation is the mad belief in separate thoughts and separate bodies, which lead separate lives and go their separate ways. Every one of us has the same purpose, the same function, and in that we are united. Part of the healing of my own mind is the recognition that the other person does indeed share the same purpose with me, and in his reality wants the same thing. If I look at his ego, I see separate interests, and that may be all that he or she is seeing. But when I give up my interpretation and allow the Holy Spirit to interpret for me, I see that the other person's fear, which is manifesting as attack, is really a call for love and is really a witness to the belief in love within their mind. The result of this is that I see the other person does not need to change to be one with me. They already are one with me. I have a hidden ally in their mind. I have their own secret agreement with me on a common goal. The part God has saved for me in His plan is designed to restore me to happiness, because happiness is His will for me. There is something in us, the ego of course, that tells us it is wrong to want perfect happiness. But if perfect happiness is God's will, then to think I don't deserve it is to oppose God's will. For God's will to be complete, my joy must be complete. For His will is perfect joy for everyone. If everyone I meet encounters a face shining with joy, then they will hear God calling to them in my happy laughter. I am essential to God's plan. My joy is essential to His plan. So today, let me choose the joy of God instead of pain. Without your smile, the world cannot be saved. All laughter can but echo yours. So my job today and every day is to be happy. I cannot be happy if I attack or judge or blame or condemn. I cannot be happy unless I accept, unless I forgive as the Course teaches, looking past all the ego's illusions to see the happy truth in everyone. They want love just as I do. We teach through our happiness. We call all minds to let their sorrows go by our joy on earth. This is plainly speaking about a manifest joy, one visible on our face through a smile and happy laughter. God's messengers are joyous, and their joy heals sorrow and despair. A good affirmation for the day would be, my joy heals. The part we all have in God's plan is to demonstrate by our perfect happiness that God wills perfect happiness for all who accept it as a gift from Him. Sadness is a choice, a decision to play another part instead of what has been assigned to you by God. It is the ego's mad desire to be independent of any power except its own. When I clamp down on my happiness, I fail to show the world what God wills for us all, and thus I fail to recognize the happiness that is already, always mine. Today, we will accept to understand joy is our function here. Nothing has to change to make this possible. I can be perfectly happy right now because happiness does not depend on anything outside of my mind. Getting upset with anything or anyone does not change it. Only happiness heals. Only happiness brings lasting change. We mistakenly think at times that our happiness somehow enables the error and sin of others. If someone is being cruel and I continue to be happy, it seems to condone cruelty. However, to be upset at cruelty does not heal it, it makes it real. It is far more joyous and far more healing to see in the cruelty a groundless fear that masks an appeal for help. That shows by its very obscurity that within that person is a longing she or he shares with me, a longing for God, a longing for His gift of happiness. My happiness in the face of cruelty teaches that the grounds for the cruelty do not exist. It does not attack the symptom of cruelty. It undoes cruelty's source. To be happy is not to lose out, to sacrifice, or to die. It is to live forever. It is our little thoughts and foolish goals that hold us back from happiness. Our mind has chosen to make something more important than happiness, and what that means in deep metaphysical terms is that we have made something more important than Christ or God. If we look, He is in us. He will be there. That thought is repeated twice. The Christ is in me, waiting to be acknowledged as myself. That is the only true source of happiness, and we all have Him already. My job today is to be His messenger and to find what He would have you give, to find happiness in myself and give my happiness to others. That is the reason I am here, and that is why this day exists for me. I am essential to God's plan for the salvation of the world. Without my smile, the world cannot be saved. Thank you. Whoops. Thank you so much for joining with me. I love this lesson. I keep dropping my phone. Lesson 100. My part is essential to God's plan for salvation. I love you. Keep smiling. Keep laughing. Let's have fun. And I will do a meditation as well. Although, please, if you'd like, Gary Renard has a 5-minute meditation. That's wonderful. Thank you.